Look, man, as much as I say, show up every single day, go work every day, go grind every day, put energy towards where you want to be every single day. Like, as much as I say those things, bro, on the flip side of that, you still got to get some rest. You know, it's not just a go, 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 go and burn yourself out type thing because, at some point, like I said, you're going to get burnt out. At some point, you're going to have an empty cup and you're not going to be able to produce at the level you want to. So you got to get your rest in. Resting is not weakness. You've been running nonstop, you've been working nonstop, you've been grinding and putting energy towards where you want to be nonstop. And you need to rest, to be at your full potential. But resting does not mean that you're weak. It's not mean that you're quitting. It doesn't mean that you're giving up. It just means that you're recharging. It means that, you're getting ready for that next push that you're about to make. But don't get me wrong, bro. I'm not saying let the rest turn into laziness. I'm not saying let the rest be a whole week, be a day, be a couple days. But the rest is needed for growth. Rest is part of your growth. Like even the best, strongest people in the world need to pause. They need to take a rest. They need to take a break. You look at the top athletes, you look at LeBron, you look at Tom Brady, like they took rest days, they took off days so they could come back stronger after that. But like I said, don't let the rest turn into laziness. Don't let it turn into not putting the work in after that. Like, yeah, rest for a day, rest for a couple days, and then come back and put the work in. Because your muscles, bro, they grow when they recover. That they grow when they rest, not when they're constantly strained, not when they're constantly work, not when they're constantly, in grind mode. And that's the same with your mind. It's the same with your spirit. That's the same with your mental health. Like they grow and they recover when you take some rest. They grow and they recover when you take a break for maybe a day, maybe a couple days. But like I always say, bro, like you can't pour from an empty cup. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, like it's impossible to pour from an empty cup. And when you get to that point, bro, you're gonna experience burnout. Like if you never rest, if you never take time to recover, if you never take a mental health day, if you never take a break from what you're doing, bro, you'll burn out before you reach what God has in store for you. You'll burn out before you reach what God has planned for you, bro. So take your rest and take it seriously. Take some recovery days and take them seriously. It don't got to be a week. It don't got to be a long time because that's when the laziness starts to kick in. But take a day, take a couple days because it's needed. You know what I'm saying? It's essential. And I know that a lot of times when you take a rest or you take a recovery, bro, it may feel like it's weak. It may feel like, oh, I'm not putting work in a day. Oh, I'm not doing this today. So I'm not going to make it. That's not true, bro, because rest, it takes strength, bro. It takes a lot of strength to go out and rest. It takes a lot of strength to go out and recover. It takes a lot of trust and belief in yourself to go do that because, like I said, you don't want to get into this spot of laziness, but sometimes that rest and that recovery is about trusting that God is still working when you're not. Even you don't work for one day doesn't mean God's gonna stop working. You don't work for an hour doesn't mean that God's gonna stop working. Like you still gotta have that trust and still have that faith that God is working behind the scenes, because He is. Like it takes faith to just slow down and believe that progress is still happening behind the scenes. It takes a lot of trust to slow down and believe that progress is still being made and work is still being done behind the scenes. Jesus himself, he rested. He took some recovery days. He stepped away from the crowd sometimes to recharge. You know what I'm saying? Like it's okay to rest. It's okay to take some recovery days, bro. Like rest is not laziness. It's a strategy for what's next. It's a plan for what's next. Rest is how you prepare for your next season. It's how you recover for your next season. If you come back sharper, if you come back stronger, if you come back more focused, more disciplined, like yes, that recovery was great for you. That rest was great for you. And that's what's gonna happen when you take a break. You know what I'm saying? When you take some rest breaks, when you take some recovery, like real strength, bro, it's not constantly grinding, it's not constantly working, it's not constantly, you know, dishing out energy, bro. It's knowing when to pause and protect you. It's knowing when to pause and take some time to yourself to come back even stronger, to come back even more disciplined, to come back even more focused and locked in on where you want to be. So if you feel burnt out, bro, if you feel stressed out, like take that rest break. You know what I'm saying? Take that recovery day. Let it be a day. Let it be a couple days. You know what I'm saying? Breathe, recharge, talk to God, pray, trust him, put faith in him. Because when you come back, you're going to come back way different than you were before. You're going to come back stronger. You're going to come back more focused. You're going to come back with more mental clarity. You're going to come back ready for what's next, ready for what God has next in your life. And always remember, like, resting is not a weakness. You know what I'm saying? It's not you not being strong, because you're very strong. You've been working every single day for as long as you can remember. You know what I'm saying? You've been grinding every single day for as long as you can remember. You've been putting out energy and showing up every single day. It's time to take a day to pour into you. You know what I'm saying? It's time to take a day to recover and get stronger through that recovery. Become more focused through that recovery. So resting is not weakness, bro. It's wisdom. It's a setup for what's next. It's a preparation for what's next in store for you. But that'll be all for this video, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you like this video, go hit that sub button. On the way to 700 subs. Appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'll see y'all in the next one.